Daggy and Beaver with you for show us your tips. Caulfield Guineas Day ends a day in Sydney as well, if it stops raining. Beaver, how are you travelling?
Very well, thank you, mate. Thanks for asking. What about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. A couple of good days in a row for us. Just give you a plug before we start.
Hot,
Just on fire yesterday, picking the eyes out of Mornington there.
hot to trot there, mate. Unfortunately, I was quite busy with other things and missed most of the day, but the results were good for the punters that followed me. Got the first two winners in race 1 and 2 with my best bet at Mornington. Finished the day there with my other tip of the day. My value bet ran third, so you would have got your money back there. And then I had one tip in Townsville, which won, and one at Tamworth, which won. So pretty much 5 out of 5 there with my value bet running third.
Lovely. And if you head to progretracing.com.au, you'll find our articles up there a couple of times a week in addition to 2 shows. Subscribe to the mailing list. You'll get that all in your inbox as well on a Friday evening. I think I'll have a look at Sunday next. I think there's a couple of meetings on Sunday I'll dive into today. But apart from that, we've got a great day's racing at Caulfield tomorrow. The track's currently soft. Any excites you over the 2 meetings?
Look, I found Randwick pretty tricky. Found that a really tough card, one of the toughest cards I've kind of tried to assess more recent time, and without knowing
and the weather made it worse, I think.
And what's going to be scratched and how the track's going to play, it made it pretty difficult. But a really good card at Caulfield. Plenty of chances, and probably some favourites that are a little bit under the odds, but they also look very hard beats in open fields. So yeah, good day's racing and a good analysis to come up.
Yeah, soft track currently at Caulfield. I think it gets a bit better than that. Apparently a bit drizzly down there. Rails in the true. I'm a bit blued up. I think I've found Godolphin in every race.
Yes.
So
yeah, I think I've looked at a lot of Godolphin horses as well.
Yeah, so hoping the stable's going all right. I've already, in fact, had a bit of a bet on the all up just for something to do. But we kick off with the babies in the first.
Just before we get into it, Daggy, any sign of email from our mate Elliot on Ice Bath?
Not yet, nothing.
Hasn't checked in yet.
I haven't checked. Let me check the comments while I do this.
I hope he didn't stay in the ice bath too long after getting rolled there.
He might be Saturday only. We'll see if he's come back with anything.
Yes, he might have missed the big week show, and he might be watching now. So Elliot, anytime you feel free to send an apology to Beaver on Ice Bath, mate. I'm waiting and looking forward to it, mate.
Looking forward to the comments. Leave your comments and your best bets throughout the weekend in the comments below, actually. And get in touch through Progress Racing. They'll pass any feedback on to us as well. But as we said, we kick off with the babies with the 1,000-metre listed race here. Anything caught your eye with the debutants?
Yeah, look, really hard to get a line here. You'd be only going off trial form, so I didn't really fall into this one. I thought I'd watch this race, get a feel for the track, and save money for better races later on.
Yeah, not a great deal to kick us off on the day. I think the market order was about right based off the trials. King's Gambit set down here. Good day for Blake Shin tomorrow, I'm tipping as well, actually. So hopefully he's at his best. But yeah, King's Gambit on top sort of by default. But again, the blue colours may be prominent there in the Godolphin team. The 1,400-metre weekend Hussler listed race is up next. A bit of Sydney form comes down. How are you looking at this one?
Yeah, look, this is a really good race. The kick into the some of the more experienced horses. All the top 4 in the market here have got really good, consistent form, all running places in their last 3 or 4 starts, pretty much. A couple coming from Sydney form. I thought Old Flame was a little bit skinny at the 6-4 mark, so I was willing to play around that. I went for Jimmy the Bear at the price. I think it's been freshened up here. Before its last start, third. Over the 1,700, which I think it goes better, sort of that 1,400 to 1,600 range. I think the 1,700 is just a little bit long, and it was kind of the sitting shot there after hitting the front early at Caulfield. Back to Caulfield here, runs well here. 1,400 suits, jumps on the pace here. It's pretty foolproof. I think it can run well. Got it on top.
I agree. Being one of our favourites, just honest, will be close enough to the pace and be hard to bet. I love the price. I love the each way bet there.
Yeah, 100%.
And I also like the price around Purple Sector. I think it's going really well. Did match Old Flame first up. and is 3 times the price of it, and then just got nabbed late by the Epsom winner. So coming down here, gets Blake Shin, and again an each way price.
Bit worried it's an ice bath.
Yeah, fair enough. It's been, what's it out? It's
4 from 34.
It's now 2 years
Lots of
between
placings.
wins.
The other thing is if the track is a little bit soft, it's had 13 goes on the soft, hasn't won, and 3 goes on the heavy, hasn't won. So 16 starts with this thing out of the track.
Fair call. I'm treating this track as probably the better side of soft, but I know what you're saying. Look, we need to touch on just Old Flame being as short as it is. Is that your reason you've gone around there?
Yeah, gone around that. Cardinal Gem's a definite chance. Drawn wide, so that's it's going to need a little bit of luck in running. It won't want to get too far back and give him too big a start. It's more of a sit and sprint type affair. And I think Regards Marie's a really good chance at $12.
Yeah, all good commentary there. The Thoroughbred Club Stakes, 1,200 metres for the 3-year-old fillies, is up next, Group 3. And I'm sticking with, my horse that's been flying all prep, Troach. Was really good outside lead on a rails fence there. You're getting $8 tomorrow. Craig Williams has been with her through and got a couple of wins out of her, and she can roll along just behind the pace and be tough to beat again. And I think Nanagui is absolutely flying. I was a bit surprised it was so long when I did the form here. Both wins have been good. The form through both those wins has stood up, and I think it will run well. I was going to say coming home, but Peter Moody's at Pakenham now, isn't he? Yeah. Back to Caulfield. Hellhound back around to Ben will be the other improver at a big price. But I'm keen. 2 and 3 here. Beaver, yourself? I'll just get you off mute. I'm
keen on another horse here, mate, and that blue horse, and that's Kin. I really like this. Was waiting for it to come out again. Third up here, won brilliantly first up, and last up was absolutely held up for a run. Could not get clear. When it finally got clear, it hit the line, the best out of all of them in that race. I think it should have probably won that race over the 1,000 metres. I think 1,200 here suits. Strong gate 2, car aboard at the $6. That's just huge value for me. They'll run along. They'll be pacing this. It's a great bet. It's almost the best bet on the card.
Yeah, beautiful. I'll wait, and you can tell me what that is later on. Your best bet. We get to race 4, the Village Stakes, over the 1,200 metres, and setting the tone there with both of us finding blue colours, because I've found the blue colours again here. Gravina going really well. Just grabbed late by Ayrton, and I wish I win last start. That's Group 1 form. And we'll run Blake Shin again. We'll run it well again. And the main danger, Zuthus, did have absolutely everything in his favour, fresh up, but has trialled well going into that, and is lightly raced coming down. A very winnable race. They're both at the moment each way prices, and both very backable. If you want anything longer than that, Frankie Pino, fresh, wide gate, is a go in life, big price. One for your early quaddies, triple missile will be the other one swooping down the middle of the track with it. But again, Godolphin time here for me, Beaver.
Yeah, look, I think the Godolphin horses have it between them again. I've gone Zephyrus. I'd be more confident with a slightly better draw. 14 does concern me a little bit, and where it gets to, but I'm willing to go that. I'm just going off Gravina because it's always one of those horses for me again that it's next time, and it always runs well, but it's against promises a lot and sometimes just doesn't deliver. So. Look, can't say it can't win, but I'm just going around it with Zethos. So I think the price is a little bit better. Bang.
Lovely. The Herbert Power Stakes, 2,400 metres. Last stop to the Caulfield Cup for some of these, I guess. Group 2, anything you like?
Man, I'm sticking with Desert Icon. McDonald Waller combination here. I think it can roll along. Just seems to have hit a purple patch of form here. Keep putting question marks up, but no question marks here. I think it can run super well here, and I've got it on top. Point Nepean, around the double figure odds, I think it can bounce back. I'm not going to rule it out. I was disappointed last start, but it was first up over the 2,500. It was a weird run race, to be honest, but didn't give a lot. So hopefully it can improve, but Desert Icon to control this and win.
Yeah, I found the same horse. I went right away from the lead ups there. All the stuff through the rest of these all being tied together. Desert Icon now gets Gate 1 and J-Mac, so we'll be right on the pace. It's nice soft lead for it almost, probably, if not just on point of pain's back. I know it's up to 2,400, but there's not a great deal of pressure in this in a big field. And I agree with you. And then as a result, I've got to back Makram again as well. Was back and wide on that leaders track, which Desert Icon had the picnic on. It's 3 times the price. You get 20s tomorrow. And I'm going to back it again as well, just going right away from both lead apps because I'm sick of talking about a lot of these horses. Look, Saracen Knight did chase down a tearaway lead and run well, obviously, but I'm keen to play right away and go Desert Icon from Makram and should turn a profit backing both. The 6th is the 1,100 metre Schillaci Stakes. Wait for age group 2. And yep, I'm sticking with Paul Ely. Never really just got run off its feet early in the Moya on unsuitable track, but did hit the line best in that race. Now J-Mac is stuck up in distance suits and should have a lovely camp inside there to get last crack from the stablemate. Ingratiating, great return, track and distance, and we'll be swooping down the outside for Mark Zara. In the boat was 3 wide and a massive on a hot speed last time, and is the other one outside the market there that I would entertain for my early quaddie. But Keen Paulile runs well.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think Paulile looks very hard to beat here. Look, the last run, as you state, might have a 6 in the column, but it wasn't as bad a run as the 6th. Finished off quite nicely there in an unsuitable leaders bias track. So I'm willing to suggest it'll be fitter for the run. Second up here, has 1 second up, can run well. I've got it on top. Hopefully a little bit better price than 250. And I found it really hard to find something to beat it. That's why, again, I was kind of really confident there. But I thought in the boat, you're right, could run well again if you can cross and lead, which looks possible in this race. Could be hard to run down, but probably just gives Paulile the track into the race.
Yeah. The Might and Power Wait for Age Group 1 over the 2,000 metres comes up next. Spruiked as a mini Cox Plate. And who do you like?
Oh, mate, look, it's hard to go past Anamoe, isn't it?
Yep.
I mean, all these other horses ran against each other last start. And yeah, but it was a good race. But Anamoe sheds a different light on this field. I just think it wins again. It's good, $2.50. I think it's probably a really reasonably fair price in this field. Thought Zaki I'd be willing to take on. I just think it had every chance last start, and I just don't think it's going as good as what it has been now. You questioned first up win. I was thinking it was probably a better run than potentially what it was now, and I thought I was just disappointed last start. I thought it sat on the outside of Alligator Blood, and if it was good enough, it should have beat it. Can't see it beating Alligator Blood home here. I don't know why it's shorter in the market based on reputation. I'm thunderstruck. Obviously, great chance. Again, the pace is going to be the key here. I just don't know with the pace that it can. I'm guessing Anamoe will sit in front of it, and I just don't know if it can blast past it. So I've got Anamoe on top with on thunderstruck. The main danger.
Beauty. Is your missus packing an esky or something in the background? What's going on over there?
I think it was the young bloke getting breakfast.
Oh, okay. Loud
Cocoa
cornflakes.
Pops or something.
All right. I spent 5 minutes on this race. Anamoe will win. Well, if it's here and fit, it'll win. It owned these first up. Last time it was out to, it should have won a Cox Plate last year. Out to 2,000 metres for the first time. Last prep won the Caulfield, the Rosehill Guineas by 7 lengths, and then had an issue in the other race, the Rich race there. It's like I said, it has form around them. You can line them all up. It'll sit right on Alligator's Blood's back and go straight past it about the 200. Alligator Blood could run well and run second here. I think that's it. That's the race. I didn't think any further than that. Happy to bet, and I think anything over even money is a good price. That's it for me. The Caulfield Guineas is up next. The mile, Group 1 for the 3-year-olds. Great race here. Interesting clash of a couple. I've been tied to Berkeley Square all the way through. 4th up here. I like the form around both its wins to date, even its second, where it probably should have won to Boogie Dancer, but was strong through the line at 1400 last time. That form stood up since. It just feels like a mile horse all over. It would have been set for this from the start. It will run well. From Golden Mile, who was absolutely outstanding, I thought, in the Golden Rose, sat outside lead, the speed there, and now gets J-Mac on board and will probably get pretty close to the speed here, actually, when I think about this. And it's going to be very hard to beat that form around in secret, and Jacquinot's fantastic and probably better than this. Amenable up next best, who's probably just ready for the mile now. And I think we've got the rest covered. There's a few other bits and pieces which you can talk about in your quaddie, but that's the way I looked at it, Beaver.
Yeah. Okay. I've gone Berkeley Square as well.
Sweet.
I think for all the same reasons as you. I think it's been working and set for this race. Both wins last start have been impressive, and it's done it doing two things: one sitting on pace and one coming back in the field. And that's what I really like about this horse. It can sit wherever it needs to and be a force. And I think that plays in its favour for this race. Doesn't matter where it's sit, it can win. I just think it's a powerhouse. 1600 metres suits. I think $5 is a really good price. We know it handles this way of going. There's just a few question marks for Golden Mile. It's come off a really, really hard run in Sydney. So it's got to back up from that. That was a tough run sitting outside the lead there in that quality of race. And now it's got to go, it's had to go to Melbourne, and now it's going the other way.
And whether this was an afterthought just because after cabin came out.
Yeah, and after cabin came out, that's right. So I think I've just got a question mark at the price. I'm not saying it can't run well, and I wouldn't tell anyone not to back it, but I just think at $2.80, 7 to 4 in the old terms, after a tough run, going to Melbourne and going the different way of going, I just think the other horses got the edge, and I'm surprised they're not closer in the market. Yeah, and I thought Tijuana was pretty strong last start. So I think it can run well, and I think it's a progressive type.
Yep, cool. The third of the Group 1s, the Toorak Handicap over the mile. We see I Wish I Win get a run here after it missed the run 3 weeks back. What have you done here?
I've gone for I Wish I Win. I think, it's hard to go past this horse at the moment. It's just flying. Looks to be something special. But it does have a couple of things probably against it here. The gate 13, but we know it'll go back. And that suits its style of running. There will be pace on, but also the three main dangers are also going to be up on the pace. So it's going to be giving the three main dangers, all of them, a start, and need to go past all three of them. So that for me is a bit of a concern, but I think this is a pretty good horse. 250 again. You wouldn't want anything shorter, but I've got it on top. I think Pinstripe can run well at now third up. I think it's going really well. And obviously you can't rule out Tuvalu and Gentleman Roy.
Yeah, I've got a Wish I Win on top as well. Wide gates in these big handicaps are always good value. So I think it can run well here, and I hear it's going onto a Cox Plate after that, which will be an interesting discussion in a couple of weeks' time. I think Tuvalu, I know it's wet track, form reads okay, but actually I think it'll be better back to a drier track. Big horse, and I think it'll suit back on top of the ground and can run well, and will be I think it'll be the one it'll have to run down, who will be the first one sort of hitting the lead there. And that's a nice price at the moment too. Ahead of your Gentleman Roy's, and then I think it gets the camp and has a nice shot, and that was really the race for me. Military Expert can run well up on pace as well if it is going to be one of those slower miles, but I can't see it really being, to be honest. We finished the day with the Plume Stakes for the mares, Group 3 over 1,200 metres, and I've got some more blue. Zapateo on top, Ollie Sticks. Nice win last time, and nice win first up, and I know it perhaps doesn't go as well on the good, but I think it'll be fine here. And there's not a lot of these aren't going that well. Serades will improve back to dry, and Zuzarella freshened up back to 1,200. I think was the other one that interested me outside of the market, but very hard to beat here, Beaver.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think Zapateo looks hardest to beat here. Again, You wouldn't want any shorter than $2.20.
Yeah, a bit short for me.
You're right with regards to the track conditions, but I think this isn't a super strong race. But there's a few here at price that could run well. I don't mind Desert Rain. It's a pretty consistent horse around the 20s, and also Zuzarella. It can produce a good run if they're running on, and was only, has raced against Chain of Lightning and Pride of Jenny, which weren't too bad runs, the first 2 runs in. So I think it can run well again if the pace is on.
Even Literary Magnate, I had a couple of looks at there just because it is a bit of a drop in class for it. But good race, and it's the last leg of the quaddie. How are you going to line your quaddie up?
Yeah, interesting affair. I'm going to go pretty tight in the first leg. I'm going to go first leg, which is race 7. I'm going to go number 2, I'm Thunderstruck, and number 7, Anamoe. In the second leg, race 8, I'm going to go number 1, Tijuana, number 2, Berkeley Square, number 3, Golden Mile, and number 13, Elliptical. In the third leg, I'm going to go number 5, I Wish I Win, number 8, Tuvalu, number 13, Pinstriped. Going to stick to only those 3, and then I'm going to spread it out a little bit in the last. I'm going to go number 1, Turath, number 3, Zapateo, number 6, Zuzarella, number 10, Desert Rain, and number 11, Another Reward.
Beauty. And for progretracing.com.au, your best and value.
My best is best horse in the country, race 7, number 7, Anamoe. And my value bet is race 3, number 10, Kin.
Love it. Yep. Well, my best is the Godolphin Blue, but for the sake of a number, race 7, number 7, Anamoe. My value, race 5, number 6, Makram. I think's the one at double figures that can run you a race there. We got to head up to Randwick, where it is a heavy 10. It's not raining at the moment in Sydney, but I hear it's going to be, and it's going to be raining tomorrow. So let's cross our fingers. No updates from the stewards that I've seen just now on the track, but it's going to be wet. Rails in the 8 metre mark from the 1,000 to the winning post. 4 metres the remainder. We may see, last time I was in a similar setup, it was sort of 2 or 3 off, but we may see outside fence here. And also interesting with J-Mac and a couple others being down in Melbourne. Brett Preble's in Sydney, so it's interesting shuffling of jockeys, which we'll talk about throughout the meeting. We kick off with a mile highway. Have you got anything here?
No idea.
Cool. No, neither. James Barry comes out of some Metro stuff, and Zoff and his gaze does too, whatever that means. But I spent about 2 minutes looking at this and decided it was too hard for me.
I'm the same.
The midway benchmark 72 over 1,200 metres is up next. Anything better here?
Not really. I kind of did the same. If I was forced to take a pick, I would back Verbeek. Just short third up, and first 2 runs have been pretty good. But yeah, look, that's about it.
Yeah, the thing with that lead up is you watch back and you could argue Cote probably should have won, which leaves me a bit ick on the race. So, but that said, yeah, Verbeek and Mayrose were the 2 other runs in that race that were eye-catching. If I'm looking somewhere completely different, which maybe should be the way to go, Holy Tycoon's going okay, and $9, just complete different.
Better races on the day to put your money into. Well
said. Is this one of them? The benchmark 78 over the 2,000 metres. Anything?
Slightly better. Not much better. I did stick with King Frankel. I thought its first up run was pretty good after coming from Great Britain. One pretty easy and one with something in hand there. It was on the heavy going. So interesting that Frankel handled that there. So willing to stick with it and just think it's progressive type. And if it's going to be going into better things, it should knock things over.
I thought the same, and I had the main danger as Pink Ivory, who was a nice soft win last time through the line. I thought there was and Jay Collett going on, always good in these wet tracks. I thought there were the two chances, as the market suggests. If you're looking for one for exotics, our candidate I think has been forgotten here at the 20s. Going okay, freshened up for this. Handles the conditions. Claim for Dylan Gibbons. Race 4 is the Roman Consul Stakes over the 1,200 meters for the 3-year-olds, Group 2. I have decided to take on Best of Bordeaux here. I know all that form stacks up and In Secret looks good, but I thought Natuno should have finished closer both its runs behind it, and saying it will run well here gets Tommy Berry and unbeaten in the heavy. I think all that suits here and is $6. Willinger Beast, maybe the fillies are just better. It's been running well behind Zugotcha, North Star Lass. Now gets a heavy track, which it's probably its best runs have been on, and it's going to be hard to beat as well. And the most interesting runner on the card is Salou, who gets Nash, who's been engaged by Godolphin throughout the afternoon in Sydney, and was a pretty amazing win, albeit in a Goulburn maiden, but comes here and I suspect might be a dry tracker as well, but one to watch. I think there'll be some spruik around it throughout the day, but Natuno Willinger Beast, the way I'm looking at this. Beaver.
Yeah, open race, every horse a chance here. I actually went for Sweet Ride.
Cool.
I thought its win 2 starts back beating Natuno was pretty good in the soft going, so should be okay with the sting out of the track. It's ran well in all the races it's been in. No reason it can't run well again here. Some of these horses seem to be mixing their form a little bit. So not a lot of confidence, but I had Sweet Ride on top in probably one of the toughest races on the day, where every horse is a genuine chance.
Yeah, you can make a case for everyone. Even Zuccarino, you forgive last start, beat Spacewalk the time before. So the Niverson is up next. Group 3 for the 4-year-old mares. Was this any easier for you?
It was a little bit easier for me. I kind of I thought it was a good little race. I went for Expat. I think he could bounce back tomorrow. I think it's been working into this preparation. I think it'll jump to the front. If there is any bias there, it'll take effect of that. It was a good run last start. Sort of only wilted a little bit late in the piece, beaten by Nimali, less than 2 lengths. Comes back to the 1,200 here, gate 5, can jump on the bunny. And some of these other horses do get well back in the field, like Promise of Success and Zhao Li, who can run well, but they will be getting a bit of a start and maybe too big a start.
I've got Promise of Success on top. By now, we should know the track pattern, though. Obviously, you know where it's going to be in the run, hoping we can slingshot down the outside. But wet tracker, you can make strong cases, so it should have finished closer to a lot of good horses last time, including Snap Dancer, Forbidden Love, and the like. Has trialled okay for this couple of quiet trials. Yeah, map position is the key there, though. That's the only concern. When you want to talk about make cases for forgiving it's its own worst enemy. But it can wrap these up, I think. This is a bit weaker grade and conditions suit. Heresy will run well, gets Nash outside gates. And look, you're probably right. I could see a scenario where Expat jumps to the front, is heavily backed, and might be hard to run down. But we'll stop and we'll know by then how the track's playing. Any mail from that phone, Beaver?
No mail yet from that phone, mate. Not that I will be given to you anyway.
All right. The 1,400 meter Tapp-Craig for the 3-year-olds is up next. Do you like anything here? It's another tricky one.
Another tricky one. Probably slightly shorter than I would have liked, but Zoo Tiger, I think, for similar reasons as Expat, can jump to the front here, lead them up, and probably control the pace. It was only just nabbed by Jacquinot in secret in the same race where Golden Mile ran 4th. Which you're pretty keen on there. So I think that's probably why we're seeing the price it is. I thought Opal Ridge had every chance last start and couldn't take advantage of that. So a bit not sure there. I thought that the one to keep an eye on was the Hawaii 5-0 around the $10 mark. But Zoo Tiger on top for me, Hawaii 5-0, the main danger.
Yeah, it's coming out of A grade. It beat home A grade and was close up behind Jackano and In Secret. As I said, it's gone back. This race wouldn't be out of place at Warwick Farm on a Wednesday. So it's on top for me. I think it's going to run well. It'll pose you up on the pace. There shouldn't be any excuses. And on top for me, if I'm going to name dangers, there would have been stuff outside the market. Maybe something even like Chairman coming to town on a bog track with Keegan Latham on, or Ringmaster back from Melbourne even for the Freedman Yard. But the rest, we can talk about all these. But Zoo Tigers A grade back to B grade. The Gliming Stakes 1800 meter Group 3 is up next again for the 3-year-olds, where I obviously everything sets up well here for Williamsburg. Did the job last week, gets quick backup in its favour, and will be hard to beat again. Gate might be okay by then. That said, I have concerns over that form. I sort of potted it last week, so I was looking a bit outside the box here, which the obvious one is the resuming Sharp and Smart, who comes over from New Zealand and was good in through the Winter Carnival. Resumed, sat wide and out of trouble, and won fairly softly, resuming over in Ruakaka. Has form around She's a Belter and the like, including starting favourite over half this field in Queensland. I think runs well here. And then again, I'm looking wider. Manzois, different form, $26 will run well. And I thought Copplestone going okay, but when I get to the quaddie, I'll throw in a few numbers there. Madame Odette, any opinion of it?
Yeah, look, it's hard to get a line on some of this, form from Toowoomba. It did win by 5, but it wasn't favourite. So prior to that, one fell in a made in at Ipswich. So probably not for me. Just at this point, wouldn't put a pen straight through it. But I think there's probably a bit stronger form lines in this. I've gone for Sharp and Smart. I think looks to have come back better than ever. I wouldn't have thought they were bringing it here if they didn't think it was a huge chance. Rogerson normally does get them spot on for races like this. Drawing the gate 2, can sit wherever it wants here. And my concern with Williamsburg is great run backing up last start. But gate 18, I think it's probably got to be snagged back to the tail, and it's a big ask. But it certainly looks to have plenty of quality. So I'm just going to think Sharp and Smart gets the better run, and that's why I've got it on top. And you're right, there's a couple wider in the market that I would be considering. Flag of Honour, I thought was pretty good last start, and I thought Stylised as a horse on the way up. Won a midweek race, but they're bringing it here around the 20s.
Good call. The Silver Eagle, the feature, the $1 million feature on the card for the 4-year-olds. How about this for a field, especially with a lot of them resuming? Makes it a little bit tricky, but have you got anything you like?
Mate, this is a great race. Yes. Plenty of chances here. I do like Waterford. Just been super impressed by its 2 runs in this preparation. Just jiggy jogged around in a recent trial, but the 2 runs prior to that were outstanding. One is it pleased, and I thought it looked hardest on to beat. It certainly will handle the going as well, which was another pointed to me. But there's plenty of other chances as well. I thought Espiona looks ready to run, put forward its best run here. It does handle this running type of going. So I think it can run really well here. Brigantine, I thought it was good last start. No reason it can't run well as well. So that was sort of the 3 I was looking at.
Yeah, really interesting race. I've got and you've gone around Mr. Mozart, who's been one of yours.
Yeah, I did just go around it. I just thought gate 17 didn't suit.
Very
here,
short,
and I thought it was a little bit skinny in the market here at $3.50. So I thought I was just willing to take that on.
Yep. I have too. Valana on top for me. Trials have been good. Gets Nash. Gets through the wet, including beating some key rivals here, Lock Eagle and Kissa, and Kissum in the wet last prep. Kissum been trialling awesome. This would have been a target from the start, I'm assuming. Underrated horse in his double figures. Track of concern. Brigantine resumed well, as you said. And Waterford, I imagine this must have been the goal all the way along because they've kept it out of trouble and away from a lot of the other stuff. And I know there's not a lot of guts to the form, perhaps some of those wins, but we'll have to run well here. You can back all of those and probably look okay in a very tough race. But a good one. They've done well with this race, actually. So looking forward to seeing how it pans out. The Angst Stakes over the mile is up next. Polly Gray, the favourite on a bog. Beaver, is that how you are looking at it?
I didn't. I just went away from Polly Gray. I don't know why. Just probably possibly being first up.
Trials weren't that good either. I'll be honest. I've gone away from it as well. So.
Yeah, I just wasn't quite so sure about Polly Gray first up 1600. I know it loves the bog track, but I did find it really hard to find something that really stood out. I did come up with a couple of horses. I thought Fine Point could run really well. I thought it was really good first up. And I think Roots is a horse on the way up. So I think it can run really well as well. So I was sort of looking, and even Honey Creeper. So I was sort of looking at three horses around the 10 to 15 mark in this race. Thought it was a really tough race.
It is, and that's why I've got Meg on top. Far too far back last time. Chasing Nimmerly, still flew home in that race. Now gets Jason Collard on, and hopefully can posse a little bit closer, and is, well, at the moment, $18. I think it has to run well here, get through the wet well. Fine Point, if it's here, as you said, will run well. I do like scratching this horse, so we'll see if it turns up. And anything else? Yeah, Polly Gray had the winter in Queensland, but I didn't like the trial back in Sydney. The up-and-comers, the other ones, your Roots of the world. But pretty keen Megan Fine Point can give you a sight at the price. And we finish up with a benchmark 78,000 metres. I am glad I'll be at the pub by this stage. I will be hopefully crossing my fingers and hoping for a quaddie, because the only horse I was going to make a case for has stayed in Melbourne. But do you like anything? Help me out here.
Look, yeah, I don't know where I am too much up here, mate. This was a bit of a spin of the chocolate wheel. I had Classy JB on top, the top weight. If in doubt, go to the top weight. Look, I thought its win in Newcastle was pretty good. Just sat on the pace and over the 900 and won really well and carried the top weight there, 59.5. And then, look, I think its form in Hong Kong was pretty good as well. So it's come back from Hong Kong. It'll sit on the pace here. Trialled well before winning at Newcastle. Beat Wolverine in a trial at Muswellbrook. So, I mean, its form's good enough here to run really well. So, close watch on it. Gets a 2 kilo claim. Classy JB on top for me.
Cool. All right. The Sydney quaddie have gone wide and probably anticipating a few scratchings. But first leg, 3, 5, 9, 10, 4. Do I have to say names? 3, Williamsburg. 5, Sharp and Smart. 9, Copleston. 10, Manzoice. 15, Perfect Thought. 16, Stylized. And 18, Captain Pluto. Out to the Savabeel, out to the 1800 there. Mr. Mozart, number 3, 4, Valana, 5, Kissum, 8, Brigantine, and 12, Waterford. What have I got next? 6, Meg, 3, Hope in Your Heart, 10, Fine Point, and 13, Roots. And I've come home with 4, Nasturtium. I'll throw Classy JB in for you, Beaver, number 1. 5, Toro through the same lines. 9, Devil's Triangle. 11, Feel the Night. Might cash out after 3 legs there. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. I think it was about 12% for $100 last I looked at that. But a couple of splits were in the money there. What have we got for your best and value in Sydney? And you're on mute. So...
Yes, sorry, mate. My best bet comes up in race 3, number 10, King Frankel. And my value bet comes up in race 8, number 12, Waterford.
Lovely. Race 6, number 1, Zoo Tiger is my best there. And my value, race 9, number 6, Meg. I think has to run well tomorrow. Have you got anything for us in Queensland? Are they
got a
racing?
Few up in Queensland, mate. Track is good. Weather's fine up in Queensland. How about that? Going in the first race, like the trial of race 1, number 3, Arabian Fox. I think it can run really well. Moving to later on in the card, race 4, number 14, Driver Deal. Presents nice little value there, can run super well. And then we get down to later in the day. I've got race 7, number 9, Extremist, and then race 8, number 6, Turn on the Charm.
Oh, has to run well there, Turn on the Charm. Nice. Bonus one for everyone in New Zealand. Race 7, Mata, race 9, number 7, Imperatriz. Given none first up will run well in the Group 1 over there. Did own I Wish I Win a couple of times last prep.
Race 9, number 10, Imperatriz.
Oh, Imperatriz, Mata. All righty. Yes. There you go. Just a nice little bonus for everybody.
Thanks, mate. I'm 34.
Check out progroutracing.com.au. Subscribe to the mailing list. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave some feedback below. Tell us how wrong we are. Tell us how right we are. It's all good. And we'll be back Tuesday night or Wednesday morning with our midweek preview. Take care, guys. Good punning tomorrow. Stay safe in Sydney, especially.
Stay out of the ice bath, Daggy.
Well, it's too cold for that now. Bye, everyone.
You too, Elliot.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.